1920. I was born a slave because my parents were born as slaves. I had 10 brothers and sisters. I lived and worked on the broadest farm. I started to work when I was 5 years old as a babysitter. When I was 6, I learned to weave and make clothes. As a young teen, I worked in the cornfields, potatoes, and tobacco. When I was 13, I helped a slave to escape, but a slave catcher threw a heavy weight at the escaped slave, but it hit me in the head instead. Part of my skull was crushed and I crumpled to the ground. I had a big scar on the side of my head. I began wrapping a piece of cloth around my head to make a turban to hide the scar. It took a long time for me to feel better. For the rest of my life, I had blackouts because of the injury. When I was in my 20s, I married Harriet Tubman, a free African-American man who lives near the farm. One day I had heard that the owner was going to sell me. I was very upset and wanted to go away. I wanted to go north and be free, but John Tubman didn't like the idea because it would be dangerous by getting caught and bitten by the owner. I heard about the Underground Railroad. It's not a real railroad. It's a network that people help slaves to escape. In 1849, I used the Underground Railroad to escape from slavery. I was tired, thirsty, and very hungry. I walked and tramped a path through the woods by night, following the North Star. I crossed from Maryland into Delaware. Then I walked north to the free state of Pennsylvania. I walked almost 100 miles from home to Pennsylvania. For the first time in my life, I was free. In 1850, I decided to go back home and free my family. I became a conductor on the Underground Railroad. I helped my family and many others too. I made 19 trips to the South to lead 300 slaves to freedom. Helping slaves to escape was a dangerous journey. Sometimes I had to disguise myself as an old woman or man so I wouldn't get caught. In 1857, I made the most difficult journey to get my parents because they were old and couldn't walk very far. But I succeeded. I brought my parents from Maryland into Canada. In 1861, the Civil War had begun.
May I have your attention, please? Apologies for the interruption. If classes could send the recycling out to the gate at this time for collection. Thank you.
I worked as a nurse and cooked for the Union. I was also a spy. Slaves in the South gave me important information about the Confederate supplies and soldiers. I gave that information and gave it to the Union Army. I worked in Army hospitals. I helped injured soldiers. I bathed them and cleaned their wounds. In 1865, the Civil War ended. I returned home in Auburn, New York. During the 4 years, I had helped in the fight to keep the Union together and to end slavery. In 1870, I married Nelson Davis. We were together for 18 years until his death in 1888. In 1897, Queen Victoria of Great Britain awarded me a silver medal for bravery. In 1913, I died in Auburn, New York. Harriet Tubman changed and saved the lives of hundreds of African Americans by leading them out of slavery to freedom. The United States government honored her work by putting her picture on a postage stamp. This was her when she was young, helping slaves to lead out slavery. And this was her when she was old, about 80 years old. And that's it.
Thank you.